This episode we're talking about backpacks. Which is the best backpack, which is the best backpack for you, and which is the best backpack in the future. We're also going to talk about rig stacking and what's the best rig to use for stacking and the best for storing more gear to get more gear out of your raids. With the recent changes to backpacks, you can no longer stack the same type of backpack. So I cannot put an attack 2 in an attack 2 and then put it on my body. I can't put a Pilgrim in a Pilgrim. I can't stack a Beta in a Beta or a Tri-Zip in a Tri-Zip. So with that recent change, it affects backpacks a little bit. So we're going to go over which one's the best. So the raid backpack currently costs around 65,000 rubles because the best way to obtain it is 2 military cables and the trade. So relatively cheap. The next best bet would be the Blackjack. 70,000 rubles, looking a little bit less like a futon, a little smaller profile, but bright white, still stands out a little bit. You can get for about 70,000 rubles for 7 cleaners, going for about 10k each on trade. The Attack 2 you can buy outright for 57k, a little bit better as in a darker color than a Blackjack and relatively cheaper. Next you have the Attack 2, or I mean the Pilgrim, which is exactly like the Attack 2. Usually you can get those for around 35k on the market, so if you're in desperate need of a large backpack you could, I would still avoid it. Next is the Paratus, which is the same size as the Attack 2 and the Pilgrim. It's right here. White, lot lower profile, however, run you about 62k. Mechanism runs you 41k and has 32 slots. One of the best backpacks, has the lowest profile of all the backpacks. I do not have a Burkett, a dry pack, or a scav backpack. Those run all around 20k and only have 20 slots. And personally, the best backpacks you should probably run are the Tri-Zip and the Beta. Both have relatively the same profile. Both cost, well, the Beta costs 50k, the Tri-Zip costs 40k. Personally, I think the Tri-Zip has a lower profile. However, when it comes to stacking, the Beta is better. We're going to talk about slots now and stacking. So, raid backpack has 48 slots, followed by the Blackjack, which has 42. The Attack 2, the Pilgrim, and the Paratus all have 35. However, as you can see with the Paratus, it has a 5x5 grid, a 3x2, and 2 2x1s. So, a little bit different profile makes the PvPing a little bit more difficult with some of the larger guns. However, it's still a very good backpack. Mechanism is next with 32 slots, one of the best slots per price that you can get on a backpack. However, being a 4x4 and 4 2x2s is very hard to take any guns out. Best bet for this is attachments, helmets, and contacts. Then we go on to the last two that I am showing, which are your Tri-Zip and your Beta, both with 30 slots. Personally, these two are the best, unless you're looking straight for gear from players. I may be running Attack 2. As you group up, the availability and the likelihood of survival increase, so the bigger backpacks aren't as bad. I would say avoid the Pilgrim unless you're on maps like Factory or Labs where the action is kind of chaotic. It does not matter. You don't need to worry about being seen. Otherwise, the purple hippopotamus can be seen from a mile away. So I would avoid the raid backpack unless you're in Factory or with a large team, because as you're with a large team, you're probably making a lot of noise. So the profile on your back probably doesn't matter. Unless, you know, you're being a stealthy group of rats, which then you probably wouldn't want to bring a raid backpack anyway, but yeah. So, let's go into stacking a little bit. When you take the raid backpack, and then you can put a blackjack inside of it, you can save 13 additional slots. So, that's an extra row in the raid backpack compared to the blackjack. Pretty space efficient, adds a lot of room. Now, I have to drop this. The attack and the pilgrim take up the same amount of space without giving extra space. Same with the Paratus. Takes up the same amount of space without giving extra space. So far, the only one that gives any room is the Blackjack, and it gives you an extra 13 slots. Mechanism bag now takes up a lot less space. It gives you, if you're stacking in the raid backpack, go in a beta, it gives you 2 rows in the raid, or it gives you a total of 6 slots. Now the beta and the tri-zip won't give you any extra space in comparison to the actual size of the backpack. However, the beta will give you an extra row of 5, giving you an extra 5 slots. You can see here an extra row of 5. So, betas are the best for stacking, followed by the mechanism. So if you find a beta, you know you can get an extra 5 slots. So, in short, best backpack to probably take is the beta. Maybe the tri-zip. I personally like the mechanism. It has the lowest profile, it's the cheapest, and it's great for looting. If you're going straight for PvP, I would avoid this backpack because you can't really take anyone's guns out. You can take a lot of attachments, helmets, and that type of gear out, but you're not getting out with a lot of guns. So if you're going on loot runs, on interchange for example, this is a great backpack. I would avoid the raid backpack or your couch and your blackjack unless you are in a team or going factory, because I can see you from a mile away with this raid backpack. Same with the attack too. I don't think people realize how obvious it is you are when you're wearing an attack too. It's one of the dead giveaway that you have a team. Secondarily, there's a superstition or a notion, not a superstition, a notion that if someone is wearing an attack 2, they're an absolute unit of a gamer and you should probably avoid them because they're kitted. So maybe if you run a smaller backpack, people won't chase you all the way across the map, but that's just me. So in short, beta is probably your best bet, followed by your tri-zip. Unless you're in a team, then you can size up. Wow. These 3 backpacks that I have here are also great choices for if you don't want to spend a lot of money and you want a decent amount of space. You can probably kill one person, take all of their gear, and be good. Burkits, stripe packs, scav BPs, generally a mid-game backpack. As you can see, I have a few rigs here. I don't have all of them. I'll put pictures of the ones that I talk about below to correspond with what I'm talking about. So your M2 rig, for every 18 slots, where it has an 18 slots available to use for 16 slots of storage, if I were to put it in a backpack. That's what I'm talking about. So the M2 rig is not the greatest. The M1 rig gives you 20 slots for 16 slots to take up, so it's a little better efficiency. Your ABS is one of your best ones. It gives you 23 slots for only taking up 12, so almost a 2 efficiency. You have a lot of gear and you need to get some more stuff packed in your backpack, and you find an ABS, even if it's zeroed, take it. you could get extra slots. The weight might slow you down a little bit, given that the ABS does weigh a decent amount. I'm trying to find it on here. There, 8.7. But if you need the storage, ABS is a great way to do it. The Arma 18 is another great choice, being the best stacking possible. This is a 25 slots for 12 to take up. So it has a 2.1 efficiency, essentially. Very good. I don't see this spawning on any raiders, so if you kill someone, it'll have to be a player to find this one. Another good one is your TB10. It is 23 slots for 12, just like the ABS, and has a very similar setup. This one also weighs a decent amount, however at 10 kilograms, but if you need the extra space, take it. Same with the Arma 18. This will also weigh a decent amount, much like all the other armored rigs. This one's being slightly less than the TB10 at 10 kilometers to 8. So now we go on to the AACPC, which is also 23 to 12. Your TAC is 18 to 16, so the same as the M2. This is the AACPC. This is a 23 to 12. Now, going on to some of the other rigs, the D3CRX, put a picture down below, as a 16 to 9. The Commandos and your Tritons are 16 to 12. And the best rig possible is this LBT 1961A, being 16 slots for only taking up 9. So there you go. Your BlackRock and your Wartech give you 20 slots for only taking up 12. I do have a Wartech in here. However, the BlackRock would be slightly better, giving you one 2x2 where the Wartech does not. Your Alpha rig is a 20 for 16, and your MPPV is a 24 for 12, so giving you double the size. With a lot of 1x2s, if you're looting, it's a good choice, or if you have magazine. The belt is 25 to 16, so not the greatest. However, it does not have very many options for 2x1s. It has a lot of 1x1s, so if you have a lot of knickknacks or interchange type loots, bolts, yada yada yada, that would be a good bet. Your Yulis you want to stay away from because they take away space. You get 10 slots of storage for 12. I would say only take it if you need armor, and in that case you're wearing it. Your micros, your bank robbers, they're 8 for 6. Your scav vests are 1 for 1 ratio at 6 slots for 6 slots. War tech isn't really worth it either, giving you 10 for 9 slots. And your sniper 6 shift is 1 for 1, and your Tarzan is 14 for 12. So I would probably avoid those. I would actually avoid picking the M2s and the TAC even for the weight, and they only give you 2 additional slots. But what did we learn? If you need more gear, this A18, your AVSs, your ACPs, and your LBTs are fantastic for stacking gear, and probably take a beta. Beta is probably the best bang for your buck, if not a tri-zip, with having the lowest profile and the best backpack. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Not all of this information is known by everyone. Why I made this video, also because sometimes I take people's stuff and I never know which one's the best for stacking. So that's why I made the video. Find the video informational, or you have future topics you would like me to cover, please put it down in the comments below. I'll check it out. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe because it helps me out a great deal. If you didn't like the video, you can dislike the video, or you can leave a comment down below and tell me something I can improve on, or why you didn't like the video. Either way, doesn't matter to me. you like and subscribe, or you just view the video and you like my content, doesn't matter. Most important thing to do at the end of the day is have a great day. You know, this video is a real pain to shoot because I can't put this backpack after stacking everything on it because you can't stack backpacks, but you can you can't do it in your inventory because it can't go on your character, so I have to make sure I have room in my stash. It's a pain. You'll never know the trouble I went through for this.